Would you drive to the world's highest post office in an electric SUV? Well, that's exactly what we're about to do with the Hyundai Creta Electric. Now, the last time we were here at the Hyundai India HQ, we took the Creta Petrol and drove it to Pokhran, the place where India conducted its first ever nuclear test to celebrate the Creta's 10th birthday. But while that trip was fun, it left us wanting for more adventure. And here we are, back at it again and taking the Creta Electric this time to the world's highest post office. And why not? The Creta Electric is the newest and most futuristic version of India's most successful mid-size SUV with an all-electric powertrain. And powered by a 51.4 kWh battery pack which makes for an ARAI certified range of 510 km per charge, the Creta Electric is perfect for road trips too. Of course, then there's the opportunity to break some myths like driving an electric SUV deep into the heart of the Himalayas, which is why we decided to drive the Creta Electric to the tiny village of Hikkim in the Spiti Valley of Himachal Pradesh, which is home to the world's highest post office that sits at a dizzying 14,500 feet. We've always liked the Creta for its excellent comfort on long drives, especially on the highway, and the Creta Electric is offering that same friendly and comfortable feel right now as I head towards the city of Chandigarh. Now, Chandigarh is where you just about start climbing the mountains, and I've driven just a little over 250 kilometers and used up 50% of charge in the process. I've been getting about 8.5 to 9 kilometers per kilowatt hour, and I still have just a little over 200 kilometers of range left. So realistically, I'm looking at about 450 kilometers per charge right now. And that means I'll probably just have to make a quick pit stop at Chandigarh to top up the battery and probably get to Shimla for today. We've finally put the flat arrow straight highway behind us and we're now starting to climb up the Himalayan foothills. But while roads like these are fun, it's regions like these that are a true test for any EV because you're driving uphill on winding roads, and that consumes a lot more charge than flat roads. What we are driving on right now is the Himalayan Expressway, a winding 4-lane highway that's peppered with bend after bend. And this is the section where I'm able to enjoy the Creta Electric's sprightly performance and confident handling both, because with 170 PS on tap, this is the most powerful version of the SUV. And unlike on the highway, I'm also able to use the multiple region modes in the Creta Electric here really well, especially the iPedal mode. iPedal mode enables single pedal driving and can be activated easily by simply pulling the left paddle shifter. It is your best friend when driving in traffic or in the hills, as it offers maximum regenerative braking and even lets you come to a halt without needing to use the brake pedal. There is an obvious drop in efficiency now that I'm climbing up the mountains, but finding a 45 kilowatt DC fast charger right next to the highway at Shimla is a great opportunity for me to top up the charge. Finding a fast charger on a long drive adds to convenience and peace of mind both. And a number of DC fast chargers dotting my route meant I only needed to take short breaks on my way to Spiti without having to worry about range. For the matter, a 50 kilowatt DC fast charger helps the Creta Electric go from 10% charge to 80% in just 58 minutes, which meant I only needed to take short 15-20 minute breaks for top-ups, which were good enough for me to also enjoy a cup of tea. And as you start climbing up the mountains, the surroundings turn very picturesque, especially around and beyond Shimla, because the entire region is covered in dense forests and tall pine trees, and it all looks and feels very refreshing and soul-soothing. It's locations and views like these that feel soothing to the soul. The clean air, winding roads and lush greenery are not just visually appealing, but offer a rejuvenating feel too, and driving through regions like the Himalayan foothills is no less than therapy, and my drive was helping me recharge myself, even as the Creta Electric soldiered on without needing a break. The joy of finding a fast charger in the mountains is unparalleled. Now this here is a 30 kilowatt DC fast charger that's probably been installed recently, and I could not have been happier on finding it via the My Hyundai app. And the app is becoming a perfect companion for me on this trip, as it is helping me discover and pinpoint chargers perfectly. And this one here is going to save me tremendous amounts of time, as it is a fast charger and will help me recharge the batteries very quickly. I was also liking how the My Hyundai and BlueLink app were proving to be of immense help. While My Hyundai was helping me search for charging stations on my route and plan my trip, BlueLink was multitasking for me in a big way too. It was offering precise information about the Creta's charge status and the remaining range even when I was not inside the car, helping me lock and unlock the vehicle, set climate control remotely, and also letting me make payments for charging, making it a must-have app. And while the car's battery is charging, I get an opportunity to use the Creta Electric's vehicle to load function, charge my laptop, and get some work done. Vehicle to load is a feature unique to electric SUVs like the Creta Electric, and one that traditional combustion engine powered SUVs simply cannot offer. While I was only using the feature to charge my laptop using the plug point inside the SUV, you can also power devices like coffee machines, LED TVs, exterior lights, and more when camping using the SUV's external charging port, making the Creta Electric all the more appealing for those who live the outdoor life. We're now at the village of Nako, and this is where you witness a serious change in topography. So we're still in Himachal Pradesh, but the dense forests and tall pine trees have made way for a countryside that's all barren, because Spiti is a high altitude desert. But while it may look all barren, the mountains and the countryside in Spiti look spectacular and absolutely stunning. Its landscape is what makes Spiti breathtaking to look at, as you're surrounded by tall mountains. A road trip through Spiti also has you drive long distances in solitude, as there's nothing but just tiny villages by the road, besides which you're constantly climbing up and down mountains, going through one mountain pass after another. What's also worth noting that while some parts of Spiti are still cut off from the rest of the country during winters every year due to heavy snowfall, a lot of the region is now accessible throughout the year, as roads and infrastructure have improved drastically. And the Creta Electric is feeling effortless here, despite the fact that I'm driving thousands of feet above sea level. And that's because, unlike any internal combustion engine powered SUV, the Creta Electric is experiencing no loss in performance. This meant that, unlike almost every other vehicle on the road with me, I had no performance issues even at 12,000 feet above sea level, where oxygen gets scarce. Any internal combustion engine would have been left gasping for air at the altitude, but the Creta Electric was having no such issues, as power delivery from its electric motor was instant. We are now approaching Kaza, which is the largest town in Spiti. And effectively, that also means that we've driven about 800 kilometers with just 2 charging stops, one at Shimla and the second after Rampur. Now, Hikkim is just 15 kilometers out of Kaza, and I still have 21% charge left, which is good for more than 70 kilometers. So I can make it to Hikkim directly, but I'm going to play it safe and stop for charging at Kaza before driving ahead, because it is a steep uphill climb ahead. It's been smooth sailing all the way till here, but there are no fast chargers in Kaza. So what do? Well, you make do with the resources that you have, and in this case, the Creta Electric comes with a portable charger that you can plug in. That's exactly what we're doing here. We will plug it in to our hotel and leave the car for charging here overnight. Charging the battery pack using the portable charger takes a lot more time, and in my case, it meant I had to stay a night in Casa as a full charge was going to take 1 day. But on the positive side, it also meant I was going to be able to enjoy the sights and sounds of the region and, more importantly, acclimatize myself before climbing further up to Hikkim, which was crucial to avoid altitude sickness. And a day later, I was on my way to Hikkim with 100% charge.
We are beyond Kaza now, and this is the final leg of the journey. And while Kaza sits at 12,000 feet above sea level, Hikkim is at about 14,500, and that means I will be climbing an incredible 2,500 feet in just 15 kilometers. And given the steep incline ahead, I've switched region to 0 now because it will allow me to maintain momentum and hold a constant speed because it's all off-road now.
Maintaining momentum was more important than being able to use regenerative braking given the steep uphill climb, and that's where being able to dial down regen levels came in handy. It ensured I was able to drive smoothly and was only feathering the throttle when needed.
The post office in Hikkim was opened in 1983, that's more than 40 years ago, with a view to help locals stay connected to the rest of the world. And over the years, it has also gained tremendous cultural significance. In fact, visiting the post office in Hikkim has become a bucket list item for travelers who come here from around the world and send postcards to their loved ones and families or even themselves. And the postcards at Hikkim also bear a special postmark. And keeping in mind the popularity of this post office, a new post office building was created just a couple of years ago in the shape of a traditional post box.
Getting to Hikkim is challenging given the lack of oxygen and the risk of altitude sickness due to it, but people brave it all for the sense of accomplishment and to be able to enjoy the breathtaking landscapes and serene environment and create memories for life. As for me, while the sense of accomplishment was beginning to sink in, I was also glad I was driving to Hikkim in the Creta Electric, an SUV with zero tailpipe emissions.
So finally, here I am at 14,500 feet above sea level with the Creta Electric at the world's highest post office. Now, Hikkim may not even be a tiny speck on the world map, but the fact that the government set up a post office here and it has been functional for over 4 decades now is just heartwarming. And for me, to be able to make it to Hikkim in the Creta Electric without a hitch feels equally heartwarming. Now, the journey was challenging to say the least, but by making it to Hikkim, the Creta Electric bears testimony to its reliability and Hyundai's solid engineering yet again.
My journey from Gurugram to Hikkim thus proved that even the remotest corners of the world can be reached in an electric vehicle today, given how good new age electric vehicles like the Creta are and also how rapidly charging infrastructure is developing. That is besides the fact that driving to Hikkim in the Creta, which is one of the longest running nameplates and the highest selling SUVs in the country, was helping in cementing the Creta's positioning as the most successful midsize SUV even further. So I guess this was perhaps the most special way to celebrate the Creta's 10th birthday.